script. I hope that the president and the White House has gotten the consent of President Zelensky.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's a slippery slope to start releasing transcripts of presidential conversations with foreign leaders. I mean, that's a good way to have foreign leaders not talk to you. But let me try to explain, bear with me, how I look at this. You may think this is a strange analogy, but it's how my mind works. I think we're headed toward two investigations here. Here's how I think of it. Guy robs a bank. On the way to jail, the cops beat the living Hades out of him. The cops should be investigated. Should you beat a criminal suspect? No. Should there be investigation? Yes. But you also have to go investigate the alleged bank robbery. And I think what you're going to see is an investigation of the whistleblower complaint, and you're going to see an investigation of the allegations about Vice President Biden's son. Now, here's what we know about that. And if you're going to be fair, you have to look at both.
Why is that if there's... Well, let me ask you this. No. Senator, no. I'm not going to give I want you to be able to... I will give you a second to respond here. But here's where I find all this stuff, a bunch of it's hard to believe on the Hunter. It's hard to believe the concern about Hunter Biden by some of these folks that are making this case. If they were so serious about this, I'm trying to figure out why nobody from the FBI has been contacted. Not a single person. I don't understand why Rudy Giuliani thinks it's better to investigate an American via and outsource it to a country that apparently they also didn't trust. I mean, do you see why I'm skeptical that that the Hunter Biden stuff is really that serious? If they were serious about it, you go to the FBI. You don't go to an oligarch in Ukraine.
Well, number one, Chuck, you don't know that the FBI hasn't been contacted. The FBI.
And if there were an investigation, Senator, don't you think that our friends in the White House would let you know publicly that there was some sort of inquiry going on?
You don't know whether the FBI has been contacted or not. And if the FBI follows protocol, it wouldn't tell us. That's point one. Point two, and I hope you'll let me finish, what we do know is this. A Russian oligarch hired Hunter Biden, paid him $50,000 a month, gave a bucket load of money to his law firm. It may turn out that I said Russian, I meant Ukrainian oligarch. It may turn out that the Ukrainian oligarch got Mr. Biden's name off ZipRecruiter, but I doubt it. And if you go to Mr. Biden's Wikipedia page, there are other similar allegations. I'm not making an allegation of impropriety, but I am saying that's going to be investigated. If not at the instigation or the suggestion of Republicans by Mr. Biden's co-candidates.
You do realize, Senator, that a lot of people have attempted to look into this, and they haven't found a there to look into it.
Who has?
And that's the point here. You brought up the FBI.
Who's looked into it, Chuck?
Apparently the Ukrainian government. Apparently every mainstream Ukrainian journalist. Plenty of people here. We've all looked into it. I'm sorry.
Has MSNBC
yes,
looked
sir.
into it?
You do realize you're looking for an outcome, not the facts. That's what you keep telling me. There have been 4 or 5 different entities that have found nothing here.
Who?
I just told you. And they're not good enough for you. They're not good enough for you.
Wait, you said Ukraine.
I said Ukrainian journalists have. The Ukrainian government has. Apparently, if the FBI's been contacted, the FBI can't seem to open an investigation either because they haven't found enough.
Do you
American
know that
media,
they haven't
myself,
opened an
we've looked into it. The New York Times has looked into it. Look, maybe you're right. Maybe there's magical missing information here. But at some point, do you not accept all of these entities looking into it to have found the answer? And again, if what Hunter Biden did was wrong, then, boy, there are a lot of people with the last name of Trump that have some answering to do about their foreign work and their foreign entanglements.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, Chuck. I don't think there has been an in-depth investigation of this.
What is your definition of it? If it's conducted by who? Who would have to conduct this investigation for you to accept that there is nothing there? And do we have to conduct investigations basically based on partisan fairness? Well, if we do this, we have to do that. That isn't how the rule of law works, sir.
Well, if you want to be fair, then it seems to me, in my example, that you need to investigate both the alleged bank robber and the alleged violation by the policeman who beat the bank robber suspect. Now, you have said there have been investigations. I'm saying who? You're telling me MSNBC has investigated this and concluded that there was nothing wrong with Hunter Biden being picked?
No.
And put in
the
this
allegation is this, that somehow the vice president was acting on his own behalf, not on the behalf of essentially the entire Western world, in calling for a corrupt investigator to get fired. The allegation is that somehow he was doing it at the behest of his son. There's no evidence that anything like that exists. It's an allegation that you're simply making in order to do, it's sort of the old LBJ. Well, we have no idea if it's true, but make them deny it. That's not how politics is supposed to work. I understand in Louisiana and Texas it can work that way sometimes. But we were trying to create a fair rule of law here at some point.
I agree, Chuck. And if you were right, I would agree with you. If you were right, I'd agree with you. But you're wrong. This hasn't been investigated. And just because you think that I'm not alleging the vice president did anything wrong, but I'm just telling you the American people are looking at this and going, okay,
all right.
Mr. Biden.
Do you think how does that have anything to do with the president of the United States going to another world leader and saying, open an investigation up on my chief political rival?
Because it has to do with Ukrainian corruption, which is what all of this is about.
Well, the Ukrainian corruption, it depends on what you view as corruption. What
Chuck,
one side says is corrupt. I am trying to be fair here, but you can't gaslight us, sir. Don't gaslight us.
I'm not gaslighting you. I'm telling you the facts. Do you deny those facts about that? Do you think they got Hunter Biden's name off ZipRecruiter? I don't. And I don't think the American people do either. I'm not alleging an impropriety. I'm saying we need to look into it.
What I'm telling you is the president of the United States is the one who violated the Constitution, perhaps, not Hunter Biden. And Hunter Biden didn't do anything. We don't know if Hunter Biden even did.
Perhaps is the operative term, because
and more
you don't know.
And more importantly.
And I don't know because we haven't seen the transcript.
More importantly, do you know all of the financial affairs of all of your children?
And I have one child, and I do know most of the financial affairs because I put up the money.
Okay.
I have one son, and I know every penny he gets because I give it to him.
You think he tells you everything he does in his business life?
I hope not. I sincerely hope not. Some things we're better off not knowing.
That's right.
All I'm saying is, Chuck, you're a fair guy, and if you're going to be fair here, you're going to have to investigate everybody. And the president,
and it's been done,
and the former vice president. No, it hasn't, Chuck.
Well,
it hasn't, Chuck.
We're going to have to leave it at. I'm not going to sit here and defend Hunter Biden and defend lobbying and defend any of that stuff.
Maybe he should hire you. You're doing a good job, my friend.
No, I'm not here to allow a false equivalency to take over, sir. That's the problem with our politics.
Tell me why it's a false equivalency. The president, we'll find out tomorrow. The president was talking to the president of Ukraine about corruption. Now, there have been allegations, emphasized allegations, that the vice president's son is also been involved in corruption. And if the president
would go to the FBI...
Tell me why that's not right.
Tell me why.
How do you know he hasn't? How do you know he hasn't?
Then why have you? Why don't you ask the FBI if they're investigating? Do you think it's appropriate?
I don't have the facts yet.
Do you think it's appropriate for an American to somehow get their due process from Ukraine?
Well, you're saying that Hunter Biden got his due process from Ukraine. You just said he did. I don't agree with that.
But you also seem to think that it is okay for what Rudy Giuliani and the president did.
No,
and I don't know what part of that is okay.
No. I can't speak for Mr. Giuliani. He's wild as a March hare. I do not speak for Mr. Giuliani. I speak for John Kennedy.
Senator, I think we're in a cul-de-sac here.
Hey, Chuck, one of us is right, and the other one is you.
Sir, I don't here to lay judgment. I just here am trying to present this fairly without gaslighting the nation. But Senator, I will leave it there. As you can see, I gave you plenty of time to talk. It's always a pleasure to have you on, sir. You're always an honorable individual.
You're a fine American and pay your taxes.
I always do. Too much of them.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. With me now. Wow. have to digest that a minute. With me now, let me go check in with the Joe Biden campaign. Mike Memoli, who's been in Wilmington with the Biden campaign.